reinvent themselves as far as their leadership, and if they won't, somebody else will.
Well, it also forces leaders to grow.
Right.
And so, I know from the amount of study you do with leadership and the focus that you have on it, no one can go through life being a leader and continuing to be a leader without continuously learning, period. And so this whole thing of Generation X and Z and G and Y, and I guess we're going back to double A soon or something, whatever it might be, that's all great. But when you hear of horror stories, it's typically because those at the top were trying to stay where they were 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And they might just remember, well, this is how I got treated when I got in, and this is how we're going to do it all the way through. That doesn't work in the military, and it doesn't work in the private sector. And leaders have got to continue to grow and find new ways to help develop, motivate, and inspire. And quite frankly, inspiration is probably easier to do than motivating. Motivation, I believe a lot, comes from self.
I agree.
Inspiration, to be motivated, comes from the environment that you're in and the opportunities that are out there that you can earn. Mm-hmm. That you can earn.
Right.
And so anyway, I think we've got a lot of opportunity for being very competitive in the talent war, because we've got a lot of people there in leadership positions in the company that continue to grow and stretch their own capabilities of dealing with people and leading people and working with the customers.
Interesting that you say that. Yeah, I feel like from the common folk perspective, it seems like a lot of people from the ground look at the big companies and they say exactly what you're saying. It's a scary thought that some leaders just won't budge. And to your, I agree with what you're saying, which makes me think that companies and leadership layers that won't adapt to the new age, the new style. It should be the original style of leadership, in my opinion. But the more the style of leadership that we're talking about anyway, I think they won't make it. They'll eventually have to reinvent themselves as far as their leadership, and if they won't, somebody else will.
That's right. That's right.
It's an interesting change or evolution in that area, because like you said, there's a lot of this is how it used to be done in the old ways and all that kind of stuff going around, and that won't last, I think, because they say that people don't quit their job, they quit on their leader or on their boss.
In many cases, that's the case, and I think sometimes the entire situation gets wrapped up into one thing. Well, geez, we need to just change and keep moving, and there's nothing that's important, and doing it the old way doesn't matter. Doing it the old way, I think, should always be questioned as we go. Mm-hmm. But what's being done in many cases is a standard.
Right.
And so it takes the enlightened to figure out what needs to change in the way of development, what needs to change in the way of talent retention, but not losing the core values of the company, the core competencies of the company. And I think that's where people that stay attuned to the people they are leading, because that's all companies are.
Right.
It's people.
Yep.
It's people, and typically some intellectual property that's pretty important that needs to be protected.
Right.
And the better you treat your people, the better you protect the intellectual property that makes them be able to come in there and continue to grow, et cetera.
100%.
So it's connected. It's very much interconnected, and deciding and knowing what to change and what to reinforce is, quite frankly, a lot of the art of leadership.
I agree.